right.
Atlanta News First Plus starts now.
Today, we're going to be talking to you all about our summer safety plan. And as you see with me is Chief Shearbaum to my left, as well as a number of members of his command staff. Several chiefs are here, as well as our E911 Director, Desiree. As you also see behind me are the Police Athletic League kids that are here, some of them from our summer program. And our wonderful mounted patrol horses are behind me as well, and our care unit and motors unit, and so many others are here at the wonderful Public Safety Training Center. Before we get down to business, we will all just take a moment to look around at this beautiful national standard of modern and community-based policing, this state-of-the-art, world-class public safety training center for the people of Atlanta and for the people that are on the front lines who protect, who serve, and who triage and save the Atlanta community in times of need. A lot of sacrifice from community members, council members, public safety officials, and people of goodwill have really put in on this to get this much-needed facility actualized. And now we are here today to enjoy talking about our summer safety plan. But before I go further into this program, I wanted to talk a little bit about making sure that we talk about the fact that some of these things that we're doing today aren't just because we've heard in the media and other places that a lot of things are happening because of preparedness for FIFA World Cup. And I want to make sure that we make this message loud and clear. There are some folks that want to say that these things are being done to clean up the city for one reason or another associated with World Cup. Well, they're just dead wrong. My administration was outlined long before I was even mayor. This was designed and implemented, and it has been expressed to you since 2021 that we're going to be one safe city, a city of opportunity for all, a city that's built for the future, and a city that's effective and ethical government, that we were going to make sure that we had 20,000 units of affordable housing, that we were going to build housing for the homeless, that we're going to have a plan for our youth and the Year of the Youth programming, that we were going to light up the night with street lights and wayfinding. All those things were planned well ahead of us even knowing that we were going to be a city that would win the opportunity to host the World Cup. And so my administration is carrying out what we said we were going to do. We are doing the things that we're doing because it's the right thing to do. We, the group project of the city of Atlanta, have been working tirelessly to end homelessness today and tomorrow as soon as we can because it is the right thing to do. And so I chose Chief Shearbaum here to lead the Atlanta Police Department back in 2022 because I knew that he was the right person to lead a 21st century policing department to do community-based policing the right way because it was the right thing to do. And I worked hard to build alliances with the chief and all the other law enforcement agencies and all of the nonprofits and philanthropy to make sure that this public safety training center was seen through because it was the right thing to do. And so now on a lighter note, I'll leave it to Chief Shearbaum after this to talk about how we've reduced crime across this city and what we're going to do to continue to keep that trend going across this summer. A few weeks ago, I joined COO Burks and my cabinet to highlight our non-policing efforts for public safety this summer. We have a whole of government approach. Through this approach, crime is down in the city of Atlanta in all zones. And since I ran for mayor back then in 2021, I said that when we brought down youth crime, crime overall would come down, and it has. A big part of this is just about giving our young people something to do, giving them guidance and mentorship, or even giving them a job. We've hired thousands of young people through the Mayor's Summer Youth Employment Program this year and previous years, and we have a participant from a few years ago that is here today that will talk. We've opened more At Promise centers, partnered with more nonprofits, allocated more funding for youth initiatives, and just made more investments overall in our young people. And I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to the Mayor's Office of Violence Reduction led by Marcus Walker. his team, including the community-based violence interrupters, have made a huge impact on reducing violence on our streets and educating our young people on everything from how to stay away from trouble in the first place and how to be effective communicators when something does go wrong. I could go on and on about all the partners that we have in this group project because it is a big group. But APD and our law enforcement partners are chief among those in our commitment to our public safety in this group project. From pay raises to bringing back the pension to all of the brand new take-home cars that you see to making sure that there's better training that we have here at the Public Safety Training Center, to our camera network, to our care unit, all of these things and our new improved E911 technology and personnel. All of this is a part of the group project, and now it is my honor to introduce a grade A student, a leader in this group project of our class. It gives me an honor to bring up APD Chief Darren Schierbaum.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Public Safety Training Center, and thank you for once again filling the role of being the conduit between the city, the public safety professionals, and all of our citizens, everyone that reads your news sites, watches your broadcasts, or listens to your radio reports. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for all you're doing to support the men and women of the Atlanta Police Department. Your investment in APD has made sure that we are a capable organization, that we're a trusted organization, and that we're a growing organization. And if you look around, you see many of our newest recruits in their yellow vest. I'm going to tell you, I appreciate you saying yes to public service, and I appreciate you saying yes to the Atlanta Police Department and making sure that you're going to be following the footsteps of the commanders you see around you. To the sworn and civilian members of the Atlanta Police Department, thank you for the incredible last 2 weeks you've been putting in as we are welcoming the World Club Cup to our city and managing the right of First Amendment protest all across the city. You all put in a long weekend, long days, and because of you, many, many Atlantans are enjoying their city, along with our federal and state partners that have been without us through the week. You know, this is the second of 2 press conferences noting our plans to keep Atlanta safe this summer, and that's because our mayor knows what his police department knows, that the 3 best crime fighters are actually education, economic opportunity, and a stable home life. They're supported by a lot of programs to make sure our homes have the food they need, the engagement for their kids they need. And that has been the cornerstone of our mayor, that we are going to be one safe city by having a group project. But there is one area that is exclusively given to the Atlanta Police Department, and it is to fight gangs, guns, and drugs in our city, and where they influence violence throughout Atlanta. Because of the efforts of the men and women you see around us, those that are working today, that will work tonight and tomorrow, we have, and the mayor's investment of all other areas, we are seeing a reduction in crime in our city. As we stand here this morning, there's been a 10% reduction of overall crime this time last year. The 3 of them really stand out to me as chief of police. As we stand here this morning, we've seen a 33% reduction in homicides from this time last year. More people are alive. More communities are whole. Families have not been touched by gun violence. As we stand here today, if you go back to the mayor's first year in office on this very morning, there had been 76 homicides in our city. And so as we stand here today, there's been a 47% reduction in homicides since 2022 when the mayor announced the group project and made public safety the cornerstone of his efforts. As we stand here today, there's been a 25% reduction in individuals shot in our city over this time last year, and that is the 3rd year of reduction in that crime category. And a very pronounced area is the 40% reduction in car thefts across Atlanta as we attack individuals that are wanting to steal vehicles, placing them before a judge, and educating our citizens what they can do to keep our city safe. But it's just not those key areas. So far this year, your police department, the men and women that you see here, and those that will work 24 hours a day, have removed 1,457 guns off the street of Atlanta, taking them out of the hands of felons, out of gang members' hands, drug dealers' hands, making sure those guns will never, ever be fired in a park of our city, in any of our 245 neighborhoods. That effort is going to continue. While many Atlantans will go on vacation this year, while individuals will travel here for their vacation, your police department will not be on vacation. We are going to be working double hard to make sure that you enjoy the summer. What will that look like? You see our great mounted patrol behind us. You see the horses that are inquisitive of our media as well behind me. They are going to be in all of our parks throughout the city at many of our events for Club Cup. You're going to see our bike patrols that will be throughout the parks in our neighborhoods. You're going to see us increasing our efforts around gangs, guns, and drugs with our Heat Wave initiative. When your department, joined by our federal and state partners, go after individuals that we know, if they do not go before a judge, are likely to pull the trigger of a gun in our city. Those efforts will double as we move through the summer. You will see the air unit above our parks and across the city patrolling. If we are called upon because we have a Alzheimer's patient that may have wandered or missing child, your police department will be there with its air unit, with its mounted patrol, with its drone unit, every resource we need to be able to respond. Our CARES unit, which you see the vehicle behind you, and we have our CARES officer here, they have been working very hard. So far this year, they have responded to 1,480 calls of service. That's 1,480 times a citizen needed their police department and a well-trained civilian member arrived, ensuring they got prompt service and making sure we kept our sworn assets on patrol throughout the city. But most citizens reach their police department through 911. And the AJC had a wonderful article the other day noting the improvement that has been done in our 911 center. And thank you, Mr. Mayor, for investing in our first responders. The individual that most Atlantans will meet is the call taker and then the dispatcher that helps them. Under the leadership of Director Arnold, the investments by the mayor, we continue to see improvements in that center. When we ended 2023, it was averaging 24 seconds for us to answer a 911 call when a citizen needed their first responders. At the end of that year, we had lowered that to 12 seconds. And last month in our city, it was 6 seconds for a 911 call to be answered in Atlanta, Georgia. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, believing that in public safety and investing in everyone. It wasn't just the AJC that noted this, and it just wasn't our mayor that congratulated on this. It was actually the APCO, the International Public Safety Communications Organization, that awarded the Atlanta 911 Center the Emergency Communications Center Team of the Year Award. So, Director Arnold, thank you so much for the work you've done and all that you've been working to make sure our citizens have quick contacts. Your police department, as I said, is not going to take a vacation this summer. We're going to tackle gun violence, we're going to tackle auto thefts, and we are going to tackle street racing throughout the city. Don't bring that here. You will find that we know how to arrest street racers. Whether you got away with that or not, we will be at your doorstep before long. But it's just not the traditional tools of law enforcement that we're using. If you remember the mayor's first conference, there was a number of young children of our city that was there as the backdrop. They had a pool. Sorry, we don't have a pool. We got cool horses, though. Because the mayor knows youth is vital. If we're going to be a safe city, we have to be investing in our youth. And I am proud to say that while we are fighting crime with the best in the business, not one, but 2 PAL centers are hosting their summer camps, where we have 124 campers, many that are here today, that are taking part in wholesome activities throughout the summer to make sure they have fun, safe place to go. And I am confident that in the future, at least one of them will join the Atlanta Police Department. And I'm also happy to report that the At Promise Centers that have expanded under the mayor are opening and operating all summer, supporting APS in their summer school programs, making sure that any parent of this city, if they need help for resources from training, from homework to mental health support, there is an At Promise Center that we can connect them with. And what do we need from the citizens of Atlanta? Why their police department is at work? 4 things. 1, go out and enjoy the city. Nothing makes this city safer than for our citizens to be in our parks, go to our festivals, be at Streets Alive, and take advantage of all the great things we have. Number 2, register and integrate your cameras into Connect Atlanta. If you see something, say something, calling 911. We'll get your call in 6 seconds. And if you have any tip that you know would help us solve a crime in the city, call Crime Stoppers at 404-577-8477. And I want to now bring to the podium our Deputy Chief of the Special Events Division. You don't get to be known as a safe city and not attract world-class events here. And while we are getting ready for the World Cup next year, we're hosting the Club Cup right now. 1 game has already occurred. We got another one on Thursday, another one on Sunday, and I want Chief Hampton to walk through our preparations as we welcome the world back again to Atlanta, Georgia.
Good morning. Thank you, Chief. As the Chief stated, we are preparing for our second match, which will be Thursday afternoon when we'll host Inter Miami and FC Porto. On Monday, we had our first match, Chelsea versus LAFC, and it was a wonderful event. We welcome LA supporters traversing through our streets, setting off smoke bombs and fireworks, but they were able to make it to the stadium uninterrupted and able to enjoy their time. Then we have 4 more games after that, one on June 22nd, another on June 29th, July 1st, and then we kick it off with the quarterfinal on July 5th. There's been a lot of preparations to make sure that we're ready, and we're one of only several cities that had an opportunity to host Club World Cup in preparation for 2026 FIFA World Cup. This gives us an opportunity to test our plan, to make modifications, to make sure that our communication plan is intact. And as Chief stated, that it's also important that we make sure that we maintain safety and security for our residents and visitors, as well as our guests who are coming to visit. So we are excited. We are happy that FIFA has chose Atlanta to be a host city. But this is not new to us. As you all know, in January we hosted the National College Football Championship. So we enjoy doing big events, and we look forward to everyone, visitors, residents, to come down to Atlanta to participate in the wonderful plans that we have. And then again, we look forward to hosting again the International World next year for FIFA World Cup. Thank you.
Is that everybody? Anybody? Oh, okay. All right. We'll come back up. Thank you all. That concludes our presentation for today. Are there any questions from the media?
Start here, Michael, and we'll go down and then come back.
Yeah, just following up again, like I said, crime is down across the city. How much do you attribute that to having these programs and facilities for children who maybe don't have a place to go instead of just walking around their neighborhoods, they're actually doing something else?
Yeah, I attribute a lot of our crime reduction on our youth being busy in after-school programs, summer programs, or having a summer job. The At Promise Centers, the Police Athletic League, our connection with APS. We are really all hands-on in supporting our young people. So our youth crime is down, and it's keeping them occupied. That really helps to make a big difference. And I think that, so from a youth perspective, that's where we see a lot of the crime that's down, from the car thefts, as Chief mentioned. That's a crime that's usually committed by young people. Well, when they're busy doing other things, positive things, they're not doing that crime. And our shootings are down, et cetera. So having young people occupied with great, meaningful enrichment activities has really been helpful in the Year of the Youth. And it also coincides with us having the highest graduation rate ever in the city's history. All of these things are working together very well. And then outside of that, what also keeps us safe is that our police department is out there doing patrols and making sure that they're in the parks with our park rangers. And the care unit is taking up some of that work that would have kept an officer tied to a car accident or a missing person. The care unit is helping with that. All of the above really is my answer.
Mayor, you mentioned your ongoing efforts to reduce and eliminate homelessness in the city. My question is, ahead of the World Cup, how will the city deal with folks who resist efforts to, shelter or be relocated?
Yeah, so right now, even like today, we are meaningfully trying to get people that are sleeping outside into our housing shelters, into apartments that we have in partnership with Partners for Home and with our downtown partners and in-town cares and others. We are constantly asking individuals that are experiencing homelessness to go inside, and we have places for them. We continue to build new units of housing for our unsheltered individuals. That's where our rapid housing plan, that's why we're building up to 500 units just this year alone. So my hope is that anybody that's experiencing homelessness, we can continue to communicate with them through a proper outreach mechanism saying, hey, we have a place for you, and so that they will take us up on that versus trying to be encamped under a bridge. Under no circumstances are we going to continue to allow bridge encampments between GDOT and the City of Atlanta. We both understand that that is dangerous and it's not allowed. So GDOT has a posture on that, and so will we. And so we want to make sure that those unsheltered individuals don't come, anywhere downtown or throughout the City of Atlanta, not just during World Cup, but now.
And if they're reluctant, then what?
Well, if you break the law, we have measures to, deal with that like any other lawbreaker. So if you are, in violation of one of our city ordinances, then we'll have to deal with that through our diversion center. Yeah, diversion center. Had a little brain fart there. The diversion center.
Mr. Mayor, have you seen at this point, and maybe for the chief as well, direct correlation with dropping crime and this state-of-the-art public safety facility? It may be too early to quantify that, but have you noticed that has helped in the efforts that you guys are making to make the city safer?
Well, I have my thoughts about how it makes our police department, the individuals in APD, feel that the city supports them, and therefore our attrition has reduced, meaning the current men and women that are in this department are not leaving as much as they were 4 years ago or so. They find that we're making investments in them, and they see this public safety training center as one of them. Remember, the training center is not just for new recruits that's going to go through months of training. Every single APD officer, sworn officer, has to come through here to recertify every year. And some of them come by here to go to the great gym, and some of them come by here just to get a great environment to take a walk. And so this brings about morale, and I think that morale shows up on the streets of Atlanta where they're doing community-based policing, they're patrolling their neighborhoods more. Chief, you want to say more?
That's exactly right.
That's good. Give me a badge. I'll be be the chief one day.
So how it's affected recruiting?
Yeah, you want to talk
Well,
about
yeah, tell you what, when you see a police officer, wherever you are, tell them thank you, because this is a difficult job. And to see the men and women of the Atlanta Police Department show up every day to protect our city, I always take great pride in them. And it is impacting our recruitment numbers. We generally would have started a recruit class every other month under our normal schedule. Sometimes those recruit classes were as small as 12, particularly after 2020. We were pleased to report to our mayor last month that we were going to be starting a recruit class every month for the next 6 months, because our recruitment numbers are very high right now. And those classes are going to have 28, 35, 36 recruits in each one of those classes. So we're seeing it move the bar. And we're in a space that not every major American city can be there, that our police department is growing because our attrition is shrinking and individuals are joining us. If you're going to serve and protect Atlanta, Georgia, you should have the best equipment and the best training. And thank you, Mayor, for ensuring that these men and women have that.
I know the overall crime numbers for each category are down, but I think we were talking to you all last week just about the 12-year-old that was just kind of shot as a result of that. Are you seeing younger victims go down as well, or what are you all doing to address, people who might just be caught in the crosshairs?
Yeah, no, that is still fresh on my mind. Literally, I talked to her this morning, the mother, Shaquita Griggs, the mother of the 12-year-old that was shot, and he was caught in the crossfire of a incident that was happening nearby while he was playing basketball. We never want that to happen. We never want any of our young people to feel afraid to go anywhere, a park, a recreation center, outside, just as summer got started. That set us back for our Year of the Youth to be able to have a young person lose his life like that. And so I'm committed to that family. And I'm committed to all Atlanta families because, in the past, we saw a number of youth that might have been involved in gang violence or got caught in the crossfire or been a victim of a shooting. And so we're proud that that number has reduced, but we wish that day didn't happen last week where a 12-year-old lost their life. So I don't think we're seeing that as a trend. That was a one-off, and it's something we don't ever want to repeat.
Chief Shearbaum, can you address the fact that we did make an arrest?
Oh, yeah, please.
Yeah, as we were briefing the mayor on the tragedy that befell this entire city on Cushman Circle, the mayor made it very clear, and he had our commitment that we were going to find who was responsible for that. And so within 24 hours, your police department, working around the clock, had the first person under arrest that was responsible for pulling a trigger that day. And there's more arrests that are coming. And this department knows the impact that violence has on our city and any of our neighborhoods. And so we work quickly to make that arrest. But the reason you see a reduction in crime and a reduction in youth victims is this department last year, over 2,000 guns off the street. The year before that, over 2,000 guns off the street. This year, 1,400 guns. I guarantee you, we have in our gun vaults guns that, had they not been removed by law enforcement, would have been pulled on a street in a park in our neighborhood. So one tragedy is way too many, and we're going to make sure that we're doing our part, that it is rare and far between that you ever have to cover that story.
And we still have Crime Stoppers. We increased the Crime Stoppers for
We
that.
did $10,000.
$10,000 if you have more information.
Actually going up to 15.
It's now up to $15,000 at Crime Stoppers. This was something that we said, this type of crime cannot happen in our city. We want arrests. We got the first arrest within 24 hours. We're going to get the other side of that shootout that happened. Okay?
We're going to start with Jennifer.
And then we've heard that Grant Park, the pool there, put in metal detectors as people come in. Is that a city initiative, or do you know if that's going to be the trend in other public pools across the city?
Are you aware of that?
I don't know.
I'm not aware of that, so I'll have to find out more.
Their questions of Parks and Rec.
Yeah. I can get you an answer on that.
This is the last set of questions. Matt, do you have another question? Adam? Shadi?
I saw the other day y'all put out something about the Katie Jeunesse case that you were focused on DNA and that. I was just wondering if you learned anything in the other
Katie Jeunesse.
Yeah.
over that investigation.
Inquiring about the Katie Jeunesse murder that happened in Piedmont Park. Still a very inactive case by the Atlanta Police Department. We have not stopped in our efforts to bring that individual to justice that committed that crime. I'm very confident we will. It's still ongoing. We're working with our federal partners on that case. We do have a number of initiatives underway, including DNA. But for every family that may have lost someone to gun violence inside this city limits, we are not going to rest until we have justice for that family. And so not just for the Katie Jeunesse family, everyone. And I want to speak to the men and women of our homicide unit for the incredible job they do, supported by our field operations, everyone across the city that has some of the highest rates of homicide clearance in the nation. And our Crime Stoppers number, and please push this out. You can get to us online, and I'm going to give you the number again, but have all your readers, your listeners, your viewers have this number, because I'm sure that someone who's listening to this press conference probably has a piece of information that will help us bring closure to a family and justice, and it's 404-577-8477, Crime Stoppers.
Chief, I was going to ask, have you seen a reduction in people leaving, I guess, guns in cars where we're having a lot of guns taken out of cars?
Yeah, still way too many. I do not have my stats in front of me. You have a right to carry that, but you have the right to be responsible as well. And so lock those guns up in your cars when you come to visit any of our great events this summer.
And our last question is from Michael.
You mentioned all the great programs in the policing, but how much responsibility when it comes to crime reduction is with parents or aunts, uncles, grandparents?
Yeah, they have a vital role in that. And the mayor's efforts to invest in youth is investing in families of youth. And when you go to an At Promise Center, if you walk through the door there and you go around the room, there's a program there to make sure we equip fathers, mothers, grandparents, aunts, and uncles to be good guardians. And so it is vital. Your police department, the A and APD isn't the P isn't the Atlanta Parenting Department, the Atlanta Police Department. So we do need families, and this administration is committed to invest in those families to make sure they have the tools they need to fulfill that role.
Thank you all.
All right, thank you, everyone. We will have photo ops. So, Nick,